Hello and welcome to a brief history of the BKFC. Before we get started, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I hate it too. Now then, where were we? That's right. Before we discuss David Feldman, the creation of BKFC, and its meteoric rise, or any current affairs for that matter, ranging from Conor McGregor's part ownership, current champions, the legendary staff, and the epic die-hard fighter fan base, just about anything in between or surrounding the BKFC, we must first understand the history of this prolific, international, world-renowned, and notorious fight promotion. And to do so, we must first go back to the 17th century, specifically January 6, 1681, London, where prize fighting alongside gambling is documented for the first time. The first recorded bare-knuckle prize fight in history took place on January 6, 1681, arranged by Christopher Monk, the second Duke of Albemarle. The match was fought between the Duke's butler and his butcher, ending with the Duke's butcher winning the purse. This contest was documented in the publication London Protestant Mercury. The time between January 6, 1681, and our first documented bare-knuckle champion James Figg in 1719, fights were hush-hush, underground affairs, with no weight classes, no rules, and without a fighter's humble surrender or crowd intervention, usually resulted in death. But kept alive through our natural human primal addiction of blood sport and large wager. In layman terms, our lust of violence, quick riches, and the high it provides when both served together. And now that we have covered the essentials and foundation of prize fighting, we need to discuss the main evolution of the boxing sport. Starting first with what is known as Broughton's rules. After a fatal fight, the father of modern boxing, and then champion, Jack Broughton, introduced the first written regulations, establishing a 30-second rest period and ruling that a round ended whenever a fighter went down. Then, in 1838, replacing Broughton's rules, came the London prize ring rules, which standardized ring sizes and further outlawed and penalized eye gouging, kicking, or hitting of a downed opponent. Which brings us to the Regency era of fighting, also referred to as the Golden Era, and a moment that would become known as the last great title fight. American heavyweight champion John L. Sullivan defeats Massachusetts-born Jake Kilrain in a 75-round, 2-hour-plus bare-knuckle war. It is at this point when gloved boxing and other less bloody forms of sport pull the general public away from bare-knuckle fighting. Bare-knuckle fighting hits a massive decline, and the sport itself became just a thing of the past. It was all but dead. And this is where we reach the hero of this story, David Feldman, in his drive to combine the purest, rawest form of fighting and the highest value of production together in the modern era. David Feldman brings back bare-knuckle fighting for the modern man. Now past the foundation, we can discuss the small events that shape the future of David Feldman and the BKFC. Such as Mr. Feldman being a fighter himself, to a random encounter with Air Force veteran, former amateur fighter, and most notable title, future Chief Talent Director of the BKFC, Nate Shook, and the endless legal war Mr. Feldman has been quietly waging and is currently winning, state by state, country to country, to legalize the sport of bare-knuckle fighting around the world. But before any of that, it would be poor journalism to not mention Mr. Feldman's dark, troubling childhood. But to hear more on that, I recommend you watch this episode of the Ariel Helwani Show. After his dark childhood, plus many years of promoting combat sports, we reach the American state of Pennsylvania, which coincidentally was founded as a colonial province in 1681, the same year as the first documented prize fight. Comes to us the legal birth of BKFC, and soon to follow its first fight, BKFC 1, Beginnings, Adams vs. Linderman, on June 2nd, 2018 in Cheyenne, Wisconsin.
Thank you, Ron. Time now to open this stacked
Thus, the first modern bare-knuckle fighting championship bout took place, and so began the rise of the fastest-growing combat sport on the planet and the absolute revival of bare-knuckle fighting around the world, and it had an undisputed, unified name: BKFC. The real secret is Mr. Feldman meeting, assembling, and employing the most insanely perfect fit staff, ranging from the greatest ring announcer of all time, Mr. Worldwide himself, Jeff Houston. BKFC is known for an absolute perfect commentary trio, starting with former UFC fighter Chris "Lights Out" Lytle, who besides having a professional boxing career of 15 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, has a legendary MMA career of 52 fights, standing at 31 wins, 18 losses, and 5 draws, 25 of those fights being in the UFC alone, earning fight awards like Fight of the Night 6 times, Submission of the Night 3 times, and a Knockout of the Night bonus, earning him the title of the first UFC fighter to ever win all 3 awards. He did all of this while being a true American role model, a firefighter, and later an author. Sitting beside Lights Out, you'll always find Sean Wheellock, who on July 1st of 2015 was appointed as a commissioner of the Kansas Athletic Commission by Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. Mr. Wheellock previously did commentary for the M1 and Bellator fight promotions. And the third musketeer of commentary, Cyrus, who previously did commentary for a countless number of promotions, including but not limited to RAF, EFC, XFC, even Dana White's Contender Series. Cyrus has been through it all. Of course, there's many notable crew, like absolute badass Rex Chan, and my favorite employee and the last one to be mentioned in this video, a man who is always there as an every type purpose employee, Kevin Smith, who besides having brought in superstar names like multi-divisional champion and pound for pound #1 Lorenzo Hunt, he is also the owner of Smith Brothers MMA Gym, which at one point was an official BKFC training and scouting facility where so many of us, including myself and Rodney Hinton, actually started our BKFC careers. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Kevin Smith. All of that said, we arrive to the here and now, enjoying the fruits of Mr. Feldman's bare-knuckle tree. From the countless legendary names that have stepped foot into the squared circle, to the 13 different countries around the world, and of course, Conor McGregor's added chaos to the mix, we can't stop watching, even if we tried. The last few years have been an absolute explosion of must-see fights and fighter content. Topping it all off for the BKFC, there's amazing podcasts and YouTube channels with an absolutely unprecedented access to all the BKFC fighters. I haven't even mentioned the insanely dedicated fan base. A fan base whose spirit is found perfectly encapsulated in the form of a man named Russ Maxim, BKFC's true #1 fan. The BKFC is a place you want to be. The future of BKFC is brighter than ever before, making the sport of bare knuckle fighting itself back and stronger than ever. Now in closing, this is the part where we must discuss unfortunate breaking news. The future without Mr. Live Worldwide doesn't look as bright and beautiful in my eyes, but the sport must carry on. Mr. Worldwide was too damn good, and he set the bar too damn high. His voice, the suits. Mr. Worldwide wasn't an announcer, he was a superstar. Whoever is brought in has massive shoes to fill. We need another star, not a new announcer. Many people watched because of what he brought to the show. I'm not saying solely for him, but Mr. Worldwide was the cherry on top of the perfect bare knuckle Sunday, and so much more. Thank you, Mr. Live Worldwide, for 8 perfect years of showmanship while announcing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now set for the main event of the evening.
Here is Jeff Houston.
Good evening and hello, Cheyenne!
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and welcome one and all to the fabulous Palazzo Ani, here in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, Florence, Italy! Hello, hello, hello! Sturgis! To the Mohegan Sun Arena for the very first bare knuckle fighting event in Connecticut State history. A bare knuckle fight in Bulgarian history. Come to the very first state-sanctioned bare knuckle fighting event in Pennsylvania State history. Albuquerque.
Welcome to History in the Making, as each and every one of you are the envy of the fighting world here tonight. And welcome to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. We are live worldwide. And ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get this party started. So first, we would like to go ahead and introduce our judges who will be officiating tonight's event. Josh Johnson.